Draisaitl, obviously the Oilers are struggling, right? They're not getting the wins. They were hot out of the gates to start the season. Now, whatever it is it the team defense? Is it the goaltending? His production's dipped a little bit. Ovechkin has taken over him and Connor for the league in points. And he got a question that he didn't really care for from old Jim Matheson up there, the illustrious Hockey Hall of Fame writer for what is it, the Edmonton Journal, I think, Gump? I can't remember. But if you've been a hockey fan long enough, especially if you're an Oilers fan, you know Jim Matheson and his work. But he did not care for the question. He kind of gave it a quick little dismissive answer. Jim kind of pressed him, followed up on it again. Said, Leon, why are you so pissy? Why you got to be pissy? and Leon's whatever, dude. Like he got into the mode where it's like, it doesn't matter what I say. You're going to write whatever you want. Like you could tell he just didn't get along with it. What'd you think of that, Rupper? And I'm curious to know if you've had any interactions like that yourself or been around any teammates that have. I know you've had some coaches that have.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? When I saw it at first, I don't know, because when you go out and you look on social, like I feel like it's kind of split. Like some people think that Matheson was the one being pissy, and some people think Leon was too. So I guess here's my thing. It's like I always looked at it as these guys got a job to do too. Okay, I didn't think that there's anything wrong with what Jim Matheson asked. And if there was a shot fired, I think it came from Leon first because he said, you know everything. Remember? So the question was, can you point to one thing that is troubling to this team, basically, and paraphrasing, and Draisaitl said, there's a lot of things. Can you expand on that? No. And he goes, no. And he goes, you know everything. So, I mean, it was kind of like he took a shot. So the guy's like, why are you so pissy? You know what I mean? So kind of, I don't think it's a great look for either of them. It's probably regrettable for both. But the other part that I think, in the fans that are listening, that maybe if you don't know kind of the landscape of it, like after games and practices, you have media availability, right? I don't know how it is in other sports, but they open up the room. So when practice ends, you got like whatever it is, 10 minutes after practice ends or that you get in the locker room, the media opens up. So if you don't want to speak to the media, you hightail it out of there, right? Some guys have to speak to the media. Those guys have C's and A's on their jersey, right? And that comes with the territory. Yep. Leon Draisaitl is an assistant captain for the Edmonton Oilers. He's going to have to be. And there's days that he could tell his PR people, hey, I'm not digging it today. I don't want to say something stupid. They'll say, hey, Leon's not available today. Okay. So, but with that being said, like, I mean, there's times where they'll come in the room and they'll be like, hey, we need a couple guys to stay in the room. You know what I mean? Because a lot of guys, maybe the guys don't want to answer. And then you have guys like me or some of these other schmucks that are like, we sitting there. And then the media people are like, really? Like, we want to talk to this guy? We want to talk to Sid.
We got fucking Rupp again.
so anyways, I guess my point in this is like, that's what comes with the territory, man. Like, Leon, like, you're an assistant captain. Like, you're going to get asked. You know what I mean? Like, that's what comes with it. And I've heard rumors. I don't know if they're true, but I've heard that Artemi Panarin does not want to be captain in New York, and probably because he wants to play hockey. I got no problem with that. But if you want to wear the letter, there's responsibilities that come with it, and it's talking to the media. This guy didn't come out swinging at you. You did come in a little pissy, and you took a swing. And guess what? This guy wasn't going to back down. And it wasn't a great look for either. But I think Leon Draisaitl, Leon's been kind of doing those real short answers a lot this year.
See, I'm surprised to hear you say that because as a player, I thought you'd be more on his side. I'm not saying you're in the wrong or in the right. It just surprises me to hear you say that. But everybody knows you're a big time media guy now. You've kind of gone to the other side, so you would be a great person to acknowledge both sides of it. I think to your point earlier, you mentioned Leon kind of fired back at him pretty quickly and kind of shit on his question. I'm guessing, and you tell me if I'm wrong here, I'm guessing it was because he probably felt like Jim was trying to get him to talk about his teammates, or he didn't want to throw someone under the bus, maybe. Do you think that's fair to say?
Yeah, no, but it's also like, listen, all of us have gone through media training. We do it every year.
Yeah.
The NHLPA still has guys go through it every year. Like all Leon would have to say. My point is Leon wanted to push back on him. He wanted to push back on him.
He knew what he was doing.
All you have to say is when he says, can you expand on it? No, no comment at this time. even if he said, why not? I'm just not going to comment this time. And then Jim would stop. But he said, no, you know everything. Okay, so you're going to take a you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was initiated by Leon. Jim Matheson probably shouldn't have followed up with saying he's pissy, but hey, he did. And I don't know. Hey, there's so many guys. You think, over the years, like, some of these guys want to, Tampa Bay Lightning, like, Victor Hedman has to talk to the media every year, every day,
Yeah.
every year that they failed in the playoffs, or, Austin Matthews has to speak about getting eliminated. John Tavares, captain, has to speak about getting eliminated in the first round every year for eternity. Like, these guys don't ever do that. Like, I think Leon wanted to swing.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, like I said, I followed the Penguins for years, and I see some of the guys we have covering the Pens, and I can see some of their faces. I can imagine Double M rolling in that locker room, throwing a thing in your face. You want to take a swing one time or two with some of the things Marcus said or written about somebody, but
who was the fucking guy Tortorella fucking told?
Larry Brooks. I was so
Larry Brooks.
Hey,
yeah.
Torts was in Tampa coaching. I was in New Jersey. We played them in the playoffs during that when that happened, and it was those guys. Yeah, I mean, you said you looked through it already. The viewers here, man, just go on YouTube, type in Torts versus Larry Brooks, and it's like an ongoing. It's like a soap opera between these two. It's incredible.
Yeah, you get
that guy showing up looking like a fucking slob every day, putting that thing in Torts' face. Get the fuck out of here, you bum, dude.
Rupper, I heard it was someone on the radio, I think it was Elliot Friedman maybe, raised this question. You mentioned about the media availability in the locker room, and because of COVID and the way things have gone, it's different now, right? But back in the day and up until a year or two ago, the media would come into the locker room and talk to you guys while you were at your lockers, with the boys and everything. Now, it's turned into, because of the protocols, more or less pretty much a press conference every time, where the player's up on the stage with the microphone in front of them. I think he said, it may not have been Elliot, I forget who it was, but they mentioned that this doesn't happen as much back in the old days, because if you got a question that you didn't like or didn't agree with, or you had a disagreement with a guy, everything wasn't recorded on Zoom, and everything wasn't being broadcast live at the time. And so if something like that happened, you go to the player afterwards and you say, hey, like, I thought it was a fair question. Like, can we talk about it? What was that about? Did you ever see that happen? Like, is there some truth to that maybe because it's less personable now with the more press conference like situation, that it kind of blew up a little bit more?
Yeah, I think it goes on both sides. I think I'm not saying this is the case with Jim Matheson and his questioning, but I think
No.
reporters get a little more brazen now because they're speaking into a camera. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to go in there and you're going to say, I just don't find that those things were said all the time. And then at the same rate, I don't think players are going to be straight up assholes to the faces of people. You know what I mean? Like, you've got 20 other human beings right there. Like, it's a little easier to do it via Zoom or whatever, over the internet. It's a little easier to kind of, you lose that personal touch, and I think things get lost in translations. You're hearing it, you're not feeling like what the person's actually asking.